Where are we going after the final shape? It's been a burning question on my mind for the last year or so, and for good reason. With the end of the Light and Darkness saga approaching, it's hard to predict what direction things could be headed after we take out the Witness. Over the last week, I've attempted to collect my thoughts in this regard. Today, we'll be discussing what the potential future of Destiny could look like, as well as a few wishlist items for the franchise on my end. Recently, a report from an anonymous Reddit account surfaced in regards to the development of Destiny 3. It's apparently codenamed as Project Payback, and has been in development since Witch Queen. Normally, a claim like this would be approached with quite a bit of skepticism, and I believe it's fair to do so. However, this user has a bit of trustworthiness to their name. Around 2 months ago, they left a comment on the Destiny League subreddit talking about a system called Prism, which would allow players to customize their subclass elements freely. Sound familiar? Destiny 3 feels like a pretty reasonable place to take things, which is not something I thought I would have said. Up until this point, I have been convinced that Bungie did not want to spend the resources on Destiny 3, as it would ultimately take away or completely halt the development of Destiny 2, which is their prime moneymaker right now. The more I think about it, though, the more it makes sense. Destiny 2 is good and all, but I think the popular opinion is that it's felt in need of a refresh for some time now. Sunsetting of expansion and raid content is no longer happening, which is good, but contradicts the original purpose of sunsetting in the first place, to save space. Pre-Beyond Late Destiny 2 took up 120 gigs of space, a number that we're starting to creep up on again. Destiny 3 has the ability to introduce new systems into the franchise, something that might not be possible with Destiny 2's current framework. It can allow Bungie to experiment with new ideas such as fully customizable characters unbound by class, or new funky enemy races. On the note of new systems, something I'd really love to see more of are new weapon and armor mods. While I do like the simplicity of our current armor mod system to an extent, especially as I've helped some of my friends try the game for the first time, I also miss some of the more complex and unique builds we could see in the game. Things like Warmind cells and elemental wells brought a lot of variety to build crafting, even if they weren't always the most optimal choices. With a blank slate and a new game, it's pretty unpredictable what could happen in this regard. I just hope it's something fun and imaginative. Destiny 3 also has the chance to do something important: address power creep. At this point in the franchise's lifecycle, we are at our most powerful, and it seems as though things are only going to escalate from here. Personally, I'm hoping we don't have any previous loot carryover from Destiny 2, similar to Destiny 1. As convenient as it would be to have all my god rolls lying around, that's not the experience I'm looking for in a new game. I want to try new things and be knocked down a peg, something I feel a lot of veteran players are looking for. I feel like predicting the future story of Destiny, whether that's in Destiny 2 or 3, is a whole separate can of worms. My best guess is that the following episodes after Final Shape are going to tie some loose story ends of the Light and Darkness saga, but anything after that is fair game. When I'm thinking about the story though, I always struggle with the who. It's hard for me to think about who we would be fighting, as most of the enemies we've fought are either on our side now, or they serve the darkness, which doesn't seem to be the focus of future expansions. Either way, if Destiny 3 comes to fruition, I think it's incredibly likely we'll at least see one new enemy race of some sort. Assuming we stick with the same cast of characters we know and love, reclaiming Torabadal, the Cabal homeworld, with Kai'Dal seems like something that's remotely possible. As far as I know, the place still exists, and it's just overrun with Hive, but I could be dead wrong about that. There's probably a Byf video you can just watch on that, and I know he'll contextualize things far better than I can. Another route I've been bouncing in my head is Guardian on Guardian conflict. I've always thought about what it would be like to fight Guardian enemies in PvE, and while I imagine it's a nightmare to code and develop, the idea of it still seems pretty cool. The story could involve the collapse of the Vanguard, or potentially a group of rogue Lightbearers who pose a threat to the city. Overall though, it's pretty impossible to predict where things are headed right now. As comfortable as we are in Destiny 2, however, I think it's about time to move on. Whatever that looks like.